सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्द्वैता 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 एतद्द्वैता.
Namaste. Good afternoon, dear members of this esteemed profession. Happy to see you all here. We, the committees of Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Kottayam and Alappuzha branches have jointly organized this program with a lot of happiness. This would have been never possible without the help of our Central Council member, Babu Abraham Kalivel, who have personally taken effort to obtain the CPE credit for us. We have got 9 hours CPE credit for this 3-day program. Thank you, Babu sir. Happy to see all of you here. We are extremely happy that Jomon K. George sir and the faculty Anand, Prakash, Jangid is here. Now I invite CA Dilip S., Chairman of Kollam branch of ICA, for the welcome address.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Respected SIRC member and immediate past chairman CA Jomon K. George, erudite faculty for the day CA Anand Prakash Jangid, chairman of Trivandrum, Alappuzha and Kottayam branches, admired senior members and my dear colleagues. A very good afternoon, one and all. Today, I have been accorded with the honor of welcoming esteemed dignitaries to enlighten us in the spectrum of digital disruption. But before that, I would like to take 1 minute to put in an appreciation for one person who made all this possible. Even though Babu Sir played a pivotal role in acquiring the CPE permission, it was CA Anil Sir, Chairman Trivandrum branch, who strived to make this program happen. And this is, I think, this is first time in the history of Kerala that 4 branches have been joined together to hold a CPE program. And that is one thing that should be applauded. And I really want to take this opportunity to congratulate him on achieving that successfully. Now, back into the session. Today, we were talking about digital disruption. Why the word disruption? It seems a bit negative, but actually disruption is because it is a transformation triggered by emerging digital technologies and resultant new business models. So what happens is the word disruption is used because the new technologies, new opportunities that come into play, the products, new services, all those things render many of the traditional business models that we depend on almost redundant. Either they have to adopt into this new methods or they become redundant. There are n number of examples. Uber is a company with no paid up, real value assets anywhere. It's only a software. And they are doing business like in crores now. So the old travel agencies who had vehicles on their payroll is now almost redundant. They have no role to play right now. So changes are inevitable and the new wave of technology is unstoppable. Disruption will happen. However, if we embrace the change and take up the role of the vanguard, it is rest assured that the results shall be positive. On that note, we have here with us a pioneer in the field of uh, IT-induced disruption in audit and finance, CA Anand Prakash Jangid. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of all the 4 branches. I extend you a very cordial welcome, and I hope
Thank you,
you
Dilip, sir.
session. Secondly, I would like to welcome all the officials of these 4 branches, all the 4 chairmen, and all the managing committee members to this session. And last but not least, the most important people here is the professional fraternity who, despite the immediate concerns that is affecting their carrying on of office, despite that, spending these 3 hours in this session to enrich their knowledge, their effort should be commended upon. And I welcome you all to this session. I extend you a hearty welcome. And I hope I have covered everyone. And now I would like to welcome CA Jomon sir to render his welcome inaugural address. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dilip. Good afternoon to all of you. The Chief Organizing Branch Chairman, C.A. Anand, a very dear friend. Dilip, who has rendered a very beautiful welcome address, setting the tone for the entire 3-day program of this virtual program on information technology. Our very, very beloved faculty member, Anand Jangid was there for our regional conference also as a speaker, and all his sessions are, very, very informative, eye-opening, and that is change-inducing sessions, I can say. Disruption, though, as Dilip said, disruption has to be seen in the positive, but because it's very easy to remain the way we are, but then with disruption, we are forced to or pushed to change and adopt and adapt to new methodologies. Not only at the workplace, the way we live, in everything that we do, technology has made sweeping revolutionary changes. So Anand Jangid is very, very special for every one of us. He's our ambassador, tech ambassador, I can say, of the profession. And other branches, Kottayam branch, Hadisar is not able to join, so Prem Sebastian, who is the secretary there, and the vice chairman of Alapi branch, another dear friend, Rajneesh in absentia, Abbas, the Alapi chairman, who is slightly indisposed, is under treatment. Managing committee members of this 4 organizing joint host branches, very respected senior members, and 88 of our professional colleagues who have hooked on to this program. Virtually, though, I would have been really happy to have all the branch members sitting together, but doesn't seem to be happening in the near future. So anyway, technology has enabled a lot of things, whether it's a Zoom or a Cisco WebEx or a Google Meet, or we are all there together on one platform with equal clarity and more of attention, with lesser distraction. We are all attending this program. Yes, technology is very, very, I would say that COVID, or rather the lockdown has taught us that technology is not just an enabler, technology is a driver. Whether we pull on, and how far and how fast we'll pull on depends on how leveraged we are on technology. But in spite of having so many sessions on this, many of us are still lagging on this technology front. We still hold on to age-old practices. If I ask a question at this point of time, how many of us have a server space on the cloud with real-time access to the office servers? Maybe we don't get many positive answers. But immediately after the lockdown, we said that we should be able to access our client data. Of course, there are certain concerns about data security and all that, but students are working from home. So WFH, as I have called work from home, has become the new order. India's largest IT company, and their market cap crossed 10 lakh crores yesterday. TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, has 4,50,000 employees on their rolls. And in the next 4 to 5 years, they're planning to have 75% of their workforce working from home, which means that they will reduce the office space substantially, which may be a blow for the real estate sector and things like that. So this is new normals which you are slowly getting used to. E-learning today and e-classes or online classes, all our kids are sitting at home and attending classes. Teachers come on screen. So in the welcome speech, Dilip would have said the podium is yours normally, but now he says the screen is all yours. It's a new terminologies we are getting used to. Having said that, the digital future, the future of digital is well established, because we have seen as finance professionals how Reliance managed to get 1.5 trillion of investment in its Geo platform. And to my understanding, I may stand corrected, but this is the only company where our rivals, Facebook and Google, stay invested together. When Sundar Pichai announced a 10 million package, 10 billion US dollar package for India, because of the promise that India, as a young population with increasing internet connectivity and data usage of close to 4 GB, which is expected to go up to 11 GB per capita, is looking at the Indian digital space with so much of hope and business prospects. And we have a young population. India has a very distinct advantage of having 65% of population under the age of 35. So that is the future we're on. And as far as the profession is concerned, it's very important that we as a profession, individually as chartered accountants, we as a profession position ourselves much better in the digital era. Last year, fortunately, we have been leading by example to some extent. Two of the initiatives are, if the institute is totally paperless, impersonal system-driven mode of the self-service portal. Most of the teething troubles have been contained. Still, we have some problems. But the good news is that the other day, one of our lady articles, girl student, finished her articles, and she called up and said, "Sir, can I come and meet you tomorrow to sign the Form 108?" I said, "You come," and then she took the download. I signed it. It was uploaded. In less than half an hour, I got the response from SSP. And in about 2 hours' time, the RO approval also came. Without any paper flying in between Cochin and Chennai. I sit in Cochin, as you know. So imagine in this kind of a COVID-affected situation, if all the documentation for the institute had to be hard copy mode, sending papers by courier or also more, how big a mess it would have been. So therefore, we have been fortunate. I think it was some unknown foresight we had last year. We shifted to SSP. Another thing again, using the cutting edge of technology, is insulating ourselves. Just giving very simple, practical examples, which we have touch felt and which we have immensely been benefited of. One, the UDIN, the Unique Document Identification Number. Still, we have about 10 to 15,000. Exact number is around 13,000, I think. Members practice COP, holding COP, who are not registered on the UDIN portal. See, technology helps us to insulate ourselves from unscrupulous operators, dubious players like tax practitioners who are misusing the seal and signature of chartered accountants. Today, it's system-driven, it is OTP controlled. Therefore, there's a lot of protection for us. Just two examples how our institute is leading by example in the digital era. Now, moving on about the session, yes, today we are going to discuss about disruption and the chartered accountancy profession. All of us by this time know that the routine, many of the routine works which we have been doing, and today when it comes to return filing, it's all e-filing. We have e-stamp paper. We do not go to the registrar of companies to register a company. There are so many things which have been made so easy by technology, sitting in the comfort of your office, or even as you travel, when you're traveling in your car, if you have a chauffeur, you can do the filings from your mobile phone, access data All those things we have to really be happy about. And the future of digital, as we have seen, that post-COVID, we do not know when it's going to happen. But whenever it is, post-COVID, the tech companies are going to have a huge jump in terms of volumes of business. Because today everyone feels that, yes, we need more technology. Yes, we need to have the surveillance better. And today there is no surveillance effectively possible without having the right technology in place. So all these tech companies are today gearing up for this. So in the capital market also, if you look at the recommendations, well-positioned tech companies are being highly recommended by investment advisors for good reason that technology would drive us forward. And the brick and mortar model, which Dilip was also referring to, a company having a fleet of 100 or 200 cars, or maybe in Mumbai, it is thousands of vehicles, whether it is a Volvo bus or a Tempo Traveler or n number of Innovas with small cars. Without all that, Uber has established that, yes, we can do business with this. I have also had some experience with Airbnb, which is a room or a resort aggregator, I can say. And without having any single room, the valuation runs into 31 billion US dollars. It's very high, valuation is very high, but then they have businesses across the globe sitting in the US using technology. They are managing properties, including a property which is partly belonging to me in Vagamon, which I think some of you know about it. So that's a way technology is progressing. So moving forward, I think all these three sessions today, Jangid ji on digital disruption and chartered accountants. Tomorrow, our very dear friend, another dear friend, Vital Raj, on internal financial controls, how technology can be leveraged upon. And Narsimhan Ilangovan, another, he is also last year when I was chairman as CRCB, we had done a lot of programs together on data analytics. And data is the new oil. People have started saying that data is the new oil, and therefore a lot of potential in this. Younger members, particularly those who are focused with the DISA and all that, already got some kind of familiarity, extra affinity towards technology should ride the way. We have homegrown experts. I saw Padmanabhan in Trivandrum, so we have homegrown experts also. So Anand, don't be worried if somebody interrupts and say that, sir, there is another way of looking at it. So there are
yes. I'm sure Padmanabhan sir is there already on the. I could see him on the thing.
yeah. Okay, you already connected. So I'm sorry, I'm taking my hands off. It's between you. I look forward to a wonderful session from you. And my sincere compliments to Anilji, as Dilip said, goes for a big round of applause and a big salute for the excellent work you have done. Of course, 4 branches joining together to get the CPE credit is not easy. Babu sir in absentia, all that, his hand, whether he's physically present or virtually present, his hand has been very extremely helpful for every one of us. So thanking him for that. Kollam and Kottayam and Alapi have joined to make this program wonderful. We are one short of a century, Chairman. So you can be happy that in the IPL 2020 season, I think by the time I conclude, all the 4 chairmen would have had a joint innings of brilliant innings of hitting a century. So whether it is Virat Kohli or Devdutt Padikkal or whether it is Sanju Samson, both of them are from Kerala. Very proud of that good season that we are witnessing. So looking forward to 3 days of a wonderful technology innings from Jangid ji, Vital ji and Narsimhan. Wishing you all the very best for this program. I'll stay tuned for some time. 3:30, I was supposed to have a meeting which is extended. So by around 4:15, Jangid ji, you'll have to allow me to leave. But I would surely love to see you back on the YouTube. I'll watch the program. Thank you for your continued support. Wish you all the very best. And this COVID times, we are not fully out of the trouble. So stay safe. 3 things are very important. Restraint, avoiding unnecessary travel and exposure. Resilience, the patience to say that we will overcome, and then remaining resilient. And most importantly, a firm resolve that we will go forward with added vigor and strength. And for that, I'm sure sessions of this sort with the right blend of technology and expertise like from people like Anand Jangid would drive us forward. God bless every one of you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. All the 4 branch representatives. And I'm the only common factor for all the branches being the ex officio member. I continue to be at your service. Stay blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. we are happy that you are here. As you said, all the 4 branches feel that you are part of our branch. So thank you so much. Now I invite the Vice Chairman of Trivandrum branch, Sri C.A. Ramesh Kumar S. To introduce the faculty to you.
Very good afternoon, all of you. Anand sir is a professionally a chartered accountant and a certified information system auditor. Is a managing partner of A&J, an organization with a focus on the area of forensic audit, IS audit, fraud analytics, and blockchain for internal audit function. And sir was part of the risk management team at Goldman Sachs, covering multiple audits across much geography for different functions in the organization. His areas of specialization were forex audit, DP audits, anti-money laundering, Basel II, CPE, and operational risk. Prior to Goldman Sachs, he was with ES Consulting Group at Infosys Technologies Limited. He has been involved in enterprises risk management implementation and IS audit, IT audit for many international projects at USA, UK, Japan, China, etc. He is visiting faculty for IIM Bangalore, teaching IS audit and fraud analytics. He is a speaker at North America CACS and Euro CACS of ISACA. He is a visiting faculty at ISACA, ICA, Wellington Institute of Management. With these words, I introduce before you our faculty, C.A. Ashok Jangid. Welcome. Over to you, sir, please.
Thank you. Okay. Very good.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Anand ji to speak to you.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Very good evening, everyone, and really, happy to be here. I was talking to Chairman sir, and when he said that we have LAP, Trivandrum, Kollam, and Kottayam, all the branch coming together. So something came to my mind, and I just thought I'll put it up as quad branch initiative. I wanted to write all the 4 names, but then I thought it's a quad branch initiative. It's like 4 branches coming together. So it's a very interesting thing. We see now, I would say collaboration, and really thankful that I'm getting chance, because Vittal Raj sir is a very good friend. We have traveled a lot together. And I know Narasimhan, so together we were actually discussing what we should cover. And then, Vittal sir said, okay, I'll cover on the IFC. And I was just saying, okay, let me talk about I'll set the context for what is going to come. So I had a discussion on this presentation with him also, so that, we keep it in such a way that I cover the 30,000 feet on what's happening and what are the things which we should be knowing, and he can cover on the ground. So we had actually, a discussion. So today's, I would say the deliberation which I have actually planned off was really something which is something very close to my heart. Why I told it is very close to my heart, I think one of the reason I actually was in corporate and I was having a good, thing. Only thing which I was not happy was the TDS, which used to get deducted from the salary every month. Apart from that, I was very happy. One of the reason I came out in, in the field and practice, I would say, is I see myself that the time is very ripe right now. We can add so much of value to our clients. We can actually change the way we do things and the areas. And you would be shocked to know that there is a big shortage of people. It's a big shortage of people who can actually do this kind of stuff. And that's something which I was thinking we should all be knowing it up. So my objective for today, I would actually set the objective, which I'm just thinking is discuss a lot of points which are there. And I hope out of the points which I discuss, some of them would be a key takeaway for you, which can, add value to whatever you're doing, whatever practice. It can be taxation. I have a very good friend of mine in Bangalore, and he's into GST practice. But the way he has transformed the GST practice using RPA, robotic process automation, that's amazing. And I'm sure you've heard him multiple times. So there are a lot of things which are happening, and this digital disruption is changing. So the idea is to take you through the journey and actually explain you one point. And I would say this topic, what is my, the genesis of this, or I would say what got me interested in this is a talk. And I've just referred to that because they should be honored for what is the idea they brought in my mind for this, is on Bombay Chartered Accountants Society. If you go to BCAJ website right now, they have a YouTube channel. And there is one very interesting talk which is there on that YouTube channel of Bombay Chartered Accountants Society. And that talk is the future of audit. And I would highly recommend everyone who's present here to actually go and go through that talk. It is by Mr. Ramesh, who's head of Deloitte in India. And Mr. Ramesh gave this very interesting talk on what he sees as the future of audit. And that was the thing why digital disruption and chartered accountant come to my mind. He was talking about something that if you see the way disruptions are happening and what we are seeing, the speed, the impact, and the process is changing, it's really creating a very different ball game altogether. Whether we like it or not, as CA Dilip rightly said, I really like what he said. He said, disruptions are taken in a bad way, but in every problem lies an opportunity, and disruptions are bad. It is. I'm sure I did when I did my articleship, the firm where I did it in small and medium firm in Bangalore, and I remember that one of the main um, area of business or area of revenue was income tax returns. And I met my principal sometime back, and I went to their office, and they are transformed themselves totally, and they are now more in consulting, because they said there's no more that fun which used to be there in filing so many. You have 2,000 files, 10,000 files, and all the thing that used to be a big thing. And I remember when I did my articleship, that used to be like, how many files does CA have? But from there, we have moved to a long way. And that are the things which are there. And thank you, Dilip sir, for one word. I'll take it from your discussion, which was vanguard. Very nice word, actually. I just Googled it up the moment you said, because I've heard this word, but the meaning was very interesting. Some group of people working together to get new ideas and take that forward. So that's something really interesting. So thanks for that. So let me just jump into my presentation quickly. And, I have I don't want to have a death by PowerPoint. So I have a number of PowerPoint slides, but very less, around 20 slides, which I had. But there are some slide I would like to discuss a lot with all of you. I really want to pick your brain and see what you think. And the reason is sometime, I actually did a similar session for, a kind of a group of chartered accountants who are having a CP circle in a place, I'm sure you've heard of, Nasik. And I got really some great idea. They are doing something very interesting. The disruption they are actually trying to do it from a small place sitting there. It's amazing. Today, I'm sure, Jomon sir said that a lot of things work from home, and work from home is an amazing thing. I also don't like my people not being at office. I would love to have them in office, but that also tells us that you can be anywhere and still work at your thing. And that is a great power, that I can be sitting in Bangalore and I can do a work for a client in US or, Abu Dhabi or anywhere else. And the concept of being there doesn't matter anyway, because work from home is the common norm right now. And so this is some of the things which I thought I will actually try to dig deep. And feel free to put your questions anytime at the thing. And I would like to have it interactive, because I'm sure you have a lot of ideas, and we all see this idea. The only problem is how many of us we implement that ideas, because implementations are really tough. Getting ideas are easy stuff, but when you start implementing, you will understand how tough it comes to do that. Okay, so let me start with the check-in. I always do it just to get a kind of a feel of what everyone is thinking and what are the thought process which is there. So I just thought I'll keep it interactive, and this is also a kind of we are all sitting in our offices and we can actually have a discussion. That's an amazing thing, right? So let me just try to ask you. This is always I try to get a pick your brain. How do you think digital technology will disrupt our field of finance and audit? Before I tell you what my thought process are, I'm sure you have also some thought process. So we can just do a quick thing on your laptop or your mobile. You can just go to the site called menti.com, WMENTI, and just use this code 7855989, and you can just vote, put your points, and we can get a kind of 80 people. And even if you guys give me two points, I would get around 160 points right now, and that's like a crowdsourcing of ideas. That's amazing, right? So what do you think? Digital technology will disrupt our fields of finance and audit. What's your thought process? So I'll wait for you guys. Just try it.
So can you repeat?
Sir, it's menti.com on the site, www.menti.com. And you have to give this code 7855989. And it'll ask you 3 boxes will be there, which you can write down. Okay, Archie. Okay, interesting. There are people who love English grammar actually. Poor bandwidth changes everything. Slow, risky, archaic, unknown. Okay. Slow, sanitized. Sanitized is a good word. It's a joke which is going on in our near time now. Amazing. Okay. Changes everything. That's something amazing. I don't know who has put this. This is 3 response we got. But that's something which I'm always thinking about. That poor bandwidth is like always a challenge now when everyone is working from home. I'm sure everyone has upgraded their internet connections and all the thing, but still, yeah, 5G is coming. So I'm sure that is also going to be another disruption which will have it. Real time, okay, slow, okay, archaic. That is true. Real time is something another which is going to work it out. Finance and audit. I'm just trying to see it from finance and audit because see, I just shared you something very interesting happened with me. So one of my friend who is into, he's actually works for a large company. He's in the finance of Lenovo, and he started his own business recently. And he went to a VC, and the VC gave him a valuation of something around 5 crore. That your valuation of your company is 5 crores. Now, when he was talking, the VC himself was a chartered accountant, and my friend was telling one of the very interesting word he said. He said, today, if anyone is ready to spend something around 50 to 100 crore. They can actually disrupt the whole of income tax filing business. If you see that, it's already happening. And there are people who are thinking about these things. And you have always noticed whatever the new things have come, new disruptions have come in every field, let it be food, let it be delivery, anything. These are not the professional from the same, someone else is doing the disruption. And before anyone else does, it's our way to take care of that. So automation, artificial intelligence. Okay, great. Staying same, stay home. Okay. Auto control. Okay. Audit trails, historical thoughts. Okay, great. Survival of the updated. Okay, that's interesting word. I'm just looking for a 15 sample out of the, we all go by the sampling size. So I always like to do that. Okay. Take it. I really like one very interesting word which has been put here by people, which was on a term which we call it as survival of the updated. That in the time to come, people who are going to survive are not the people who are then and there doing their regular stuff. The more updated you are, the better we can be. And this is something which we learn from the history. Because I hope when we study history, we don't study history to know what are the facts and all things. We need to learn from the mistakes which has happened in the history and try to see what we can do. So thanks for your feedback. I'm sure you've heard about this picture because in most of my talks I will talk about this picture. This is like one of my favorite cases I always love to talk about. This is a picture of a guy called Luddites. They were called as Luddites. And these people used to be there in the 1800, and these are the kind of people who used to be workers in garment factories. And what happened was in 1811 and 1816, when the first time steam engine started, these are the people who were going and destroying machinery, because the moment the machinery comes, the dependency on them goes down. And they used to do it for close to 5 years. They used to destroy so many machines and all things. And the companies where they used to work, they used to go and get new machines because they know that getting the work done by humans and machines, it will be a big difference altogether. And they were always afraid that the job will go. But their, concept, that skill level to unskilled level, yes, that is one of the things which happened. But though they tried for 5 years, the rights, this is like a protest group, they were not successful because whenever technology comes, whether we like it or not, it is going to be there. And disruptions are always, I don't say it's good or bad, but I hope the moment Uber and Ola came, what happened to the cabs like Meru and other things? We know what happened to them. The automations are totally done. But we cannot say that just because they went away, it means technology is bad. No, it actually helped us. Today, just think of that. I press a button and a car comes in front of my house. It is like James Bond movie. You know, earlier we used to talk about James Bond movie. These are like James Bond movie. It's like never ever happened. We take it normal now, but it is something amazing. You press a button, a car comes, and all the things are something which we should be aware of. So my roadmap for today's discussion is to talk about all these things in from starting with my favorite topic. And I am actually in my office. If you come sometime, I have a list of, I have actually kind of a full box full of this fourth industrial revolution books, and I give it to every new joinee in our office. I'm giving it to every friend of mine, because fourth industrial revolution is something you should go to World Economic Forum website and understand that. And there's a book on fourth industrial revolution I would highly recommend you, because we are in the right now in the beginning, and the first mover advantage is still with us. So whether we like it or not, we should be actually capturing this fourth industrial revolution. See, as India's time has come, we all talk about. I think this is the best time for us. And if you want to read more about that, I don't want to go into deep of this. I just want to talk about that. You should go to World Economic Forum website and read about the fourth industrial revolution, because they are the main proponent of fourth industrial revolution. So what do they say? They say that, hey, you know what? In 1784, the steam engine came and they disrupt the whole industry from a perspective of how it was working. Okay. Then we went to the mass production or electrical energy. And I'm sure that one is very interestingly, you have seen that movie. My favorite movie is Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin. If you've seen that movie, in that movie, Charlie Chaplin goes into the machine and come out, and it's fun actually. And if you've seen that movie in Modern Times, I'm not sure if you know, it was released in 1930s. Okay. So in 1930s, that was a modern time as per them, because so much of automation was happening. Machine was feeding humans and all that kind of stuff. So that was actually one time for them. But the peak came, it started from 1870 and the peak came in 1940s. So you can think of how much time it takes to reach the peak. And then Industry 3.0, which was like what impacted all of us. I think I am from Bangalore, and where I grew up, like I was doing my articleship. I remember in 1999, 2000, there was a dot-com boom. And the dot-com boom was so amazing in Bangalore that time that even restaurants are there. So there are a lot of Sagar fast food. They changed their name to Sagar.com just for, I don't know, fun or what, but they used to have the name called Sagar.com because .com was a boom that time. And the same thing happened, 2000 and all the things, there was a lot of computerization and all things. And I remember one very interesting analogy given by Mr. Ramesh at the, Bombay Chartered Accountant Society talk. He said, if you take the fourth industrial revolution and compare it with the third industrial revolution, take two industries, automobile and take IT industry. If you take automobile industries in 1980 and IT industry in 1980 and take two companies to, give them, like for example, for automobile, Volkswagen cars, for IBM, for, IT industry, the kind of improvement which has happened, friends, you will be shocked that if the same amount of advancement which has happened in IT would have happened in automobile, by this time we would have one car of Volkswagen which will go around the world in all its life in 1 liter of petrol, and it will not require any repair. That is the kind of efficiency would have come, but it has not come. So that is the third industrial revolution. And as per World Economic Forum, we have already entered in 2015, we entered what we call it as the fourth industrial revolution. And now we are in the initial phase of that. And whoever actually use that disruption is going to be the boss of this phase. So this is all about smart manufacturing. I'm not sure how many of you have seen the difference between, very few people. I'm sure some of you are from automobile industry, because I have a lot of clients in automobile. I'm from Bangalore, and we have Kia and others, TKM, Toyota Kirloskar Motor. If you have noticed, earlier we used to have cars which is like mass production car. There should be assembly line. But have you noticed one very interesting thing? The difference between Maruti Nexa cars and Maruti regular cars. We have Maruti cars which are there regular, and we have Nexa cars. Anyone who has gone to a Nexa showroom to buy a car, you will find that your car is actually customized for you, which means you don't have a car which is anything similar to any other cars. This is not mass production. It's like smart manufacturing, that based on your order, they are manufacturing cars. That's amazing kind of things which were never thought of. And we have something which we call as the cyber physical systems. And when I say cyber physical systems, I got a kind of a taste of the cyber physical system in our office. We have an Alexa, and one of our friend had a Siri. And the other day they just did a kind of a test. They asked Alexa, Alexa, who's your father? And it was like shocking. Alexa answered. It said, "Oh, the people at Amazon built me up." But what was most interesting was this was a kind of a computer or software inside a hardware. And after we asked this question 10 to 15 times, Alexa became angry. Alexa said, "Okay, you have any other things to do?" And we tried the same experiment with Siri, and Siri was more smarter. Every time it was giving a different answer. So now we are talking about a kind of systems which are self-learning. And I'm sure if two people here in this group are having an iPhone and their Siri, both their Siris are not going to be same. It is going to be different because they are learning system. We call them cyber physical systems, where you cannot differentiate between, okay, this is the system. Because if you see the Alexa Echo Dot or anything, that is not the Alexa. The software which is working out there is the Alexa. And I was shocked. I don't know if you know this or not. Please check out Alexa has a skill called file my tax return. You know that in US, actually, they are allowing, you can actually file your tax return using Alexa. I was like really shocked because we were just analyzing their skills. And luckily in India, it will take a lot of time because income tax is dangerous. And I'm also sure that self-driving car will take more time in India because we have all this different thing, but it's already started, whether we like it or not like it. So this is what we call as the fourth industrial revolution. And if you want to really see the impact of the term which we call digital disruption, I think there is one picture I would like to show you, which is my favorite picture because I come from, I was in Goldman Sachs, and we used to I was based out of Tokyo, and we used to go to US multiple times because we had a reporting in audit. We had a reporting to our US headquarters, 180 Maiden Street. And whenever we used to go to US, we wanted to find out if we know someone in UBS. Because at that time, I'm talking about 2006, 7, 8, that time, the biggest trading floor in the world was with UBS. And you can see this was used to be the trading floor of UBS. And see what happened to them in 2016. And nothing changed. You see, it's all computers and all things. Only thing was the digital disruption which changed, friends, was, you know what? Algorithmic trading. And I'm sure you've heard about algorithmic trading, all the people who do trading. The moment algorithmic trading came, it basically required less traders, and you don't require humans to do that. So what happens? It changes everything. And I'm not saying they are not doing the same kind of transaction. They are doing the same kind of transaction, but they require less more humans. And you see, this is all empty right now. And that is what disruption looks like. Before we know, it comes and hit us. It's something like if you heard that story about if you put a frog in a boiling water, he will jump out of that thing immediately. But if you put the frog in a water, which is cold water, and heat it up, that frog will adapt to that environment, the change in temperature for some time, and it will use all its energy to get adjusted to the change in temperature. And by the time this water come to a boiling point, there is no more energy left for the frog, and he will actually get burned down in this thing. So that's the kind of thing which many times happen with us without knowing. And it's something which, Klaus Schwab, he rightly said, this is the book I'm talking about. It's written by Klaus Schwab, but he said it's not written by him. It's written by multiple people who come to World Economic Forum and their ideas. It's an idea book. You should very much, I would say, read this, because this is really an eye opener for everyone, and especially for finance professionals. They have a big section only on finance. In fact, our one of our sister body, Institute of Chartered Account of England and Wales, they have already done a tie-up with World Economic Forum, and they have come out with one very interesting documentation. If you get a chance, it says a fourth industrial revolution and professional accountants. So if you Google it out, you'll find that publication, which is sponsored by Accenture and World Economic Forum. Very interesting document. And Klaus Schwab very rightly said, he said that the technological revolution which we are actually talking about now, friends, I want to highlight one very important word. It is unlike anything humankind has experienced before. Now, this is a very important thing to know. And this gentleman is saying this because of a reason. The speed at which fourth industrial revolution is coming and going to hit us, it's something really tremendous. And I'm again telling you why it is tremendous, because think of this here. This all things which are there never existed in 2006. And today we take them all as what? Taken for granted. iPhone, iPad, Kindle, none of them were there in 2006. And they are actually all there. And the speed at which these things are happening, we have now 5G. We just don't have 4G, we have 5G. And think of this one, as Jomon sir rightly said about, Airbnb and other things. I have been using Airbnb whenever I go to US because, you just get a very nice, pad to be there for $100. $100, you'll not get even a motel in cities like New York and Chicago. So you can actually Airbnb, you get amazing house. They will be actually taking care of you very nicely. And Airbnb is amazing, because for a traveler like me, it's like, it was good fun. And you get to meet people and all the things. So this was not there in 2006. If 2006 someone says, would you allow a stranger in your house? People will laugh at that. But here you are allowing people in the house, and all these things are moving so fast. And just see this next slide. It actually took me some time to research on that. But I was thinking the adoption, just going back, I'm just going back and forth. Just see the word I just used. It will be unlike the humankind had experienced before, because the speed at which we are going to come and hit us, see that for yourself. Okay, the speed is out here. To reach 100 million customers, telephone took 75 years. The World Wide Web took 7 years. That's a huge time. Huh? And you can check it for yourself. Facebook also took 4 years to reach 100 million customers. And Instagram, I am actually so much against Instagram because my daughter uses it. And I have to tell her, no, Instagram, you can use Facebook, but they say Facebook is for old people. So Instagram is for young people. She's like in class 9 and all these teenagers drive me crazy. Okay. So Instagram was in 2 years. And Pokemon Go, the game, it's 1 month, they had 100 million customers. So you can see the speed at which we are moving. And this speed is, whether we like it or not, is going to come and hit us. So, I will be actually sharing with you some of the things we are doing, and you should be actually trying it up, because all these things are there, whether we like it or not, they are changing. Okay. And this cyber physical system is the most interesting thing. These are the kind of things which are helping us do a lot of things. So I'll give you something interesting. Okay, personally, I was in Infi for a long time. I was into this, but I don't like coding. When I say coding, I don't like to do programming and all the things. And something which is very boring for me, because I know programming, but I don't like to do that, because as I always say, I passed the toughest examination on the earth. Why do I have to do all this boring thing? But the point is that today, you will be shocked to know that you don't require to have programming knowledge to do anything. There are so many places, and I'll be showing you one demo of also things where it is just like, if you have a common sense, basic common sense, you can use technology. So what is happening is cyber physical system, technology is coming out of the realm of people who were actually technologists. Non-technologists can do this. There are all computational things are coming together from communication, control, computation, and actually is enabling all of this. And this is something which I hope all of us should be aware of. The next slide which I have made is actually a little bit of depressing slide for some people, but I would again, I told you, I'm a paid member at World Economic Forum, so I go go to their content regularly. And around in sometime back, I was checking out one thing that I'm a first generation chart accountant, so I was like, when I say first generation chart accountant, all of you know, indirectly it means someone who has flunked multiple time in CA examination. So he has not cleared everything in one shot. So I have flunked multiple time to clear my examination. And as a first generation chart accountant, you really want to make your kids also go into the same profession, right? So I had a daughter who's in class 9, and I was thinking, okay, she should now prepare, be ready for a little bit of all this accountancy and other things. So I was actually reading one report, which is one of my favorite report, and I highly recommend young chartered accountants, anyone who is there and want to make a I would say career in future, maybe in job or in practice, I would highly recommend them to read this report. I'm just putting it on the screen for your benefit, and if you would like to have it, just ping me, I'll just send it to you. I think earlier it was a paid version, now it is a free version. You can actually download it now. There is a new version coming to 2020 report is coming up, and I will share it with you. This is by World Economic Forum. They just gave this report on jobs. And I was reading this report because I was very interested to know, okay, what kind of job my daughter should try to go into. Because in future, she's young now, another 10, 15 years, she would be in the job market. So what are the things she should focus on? And when I read it, I just show you, I was trying to see accountant. And accountant and auditors, this is like something first thing which came to my mind. And when I started seeing it, it was a little depressing for the first time. I would say why? Because friends, it was telling me that, yeah, Rema, I'll share it with you, Rema. I got your message, I'll share it with you. So this was a report which told me that, okay, these are the stable roles. These are the job which will be there for next. Okay, this is in 2018 when the report came. They are giving a prediction for not 2018. They are giving a prediction for 2030. So they are actually giving a prediction for next 12 years. What is going to happen after 12 years? So this was a report I was very interested in. And they said these are the roles which will remain stable, which means like managing directors, general operation manager, data analyst, all these guys will be there. But these are the new roles which are coming up, like on big data, new technology specialist, information technology services, process automation, and all of these things. And did you see where do they put our people? Data entry, accounting, bookkeeping clerks, accountants and auditors, even lawyers, they are putting it them as redundant roles, which means in next 12 to 15 years, they think that there is going to be a reduction in demand. It's not that the jobs will go away, it's going to be there, but the demand will go down. Now, friends, then it is a kind of a point of concern. If you read, I'm actually just giving you a kind of a, it's a 147 pages report. You can take your time and read it. We don't want to discuss it. I just showed you the summary, which I actually put it here. And if you go as per the summary, we are here. And that is not a good thing, which means we are into redundant roles. We have to see how we can come and get this new roles. You can see this all things. These are the one we should be focusing on. You can see this term robotic specialists and engineers. I personally know some chartered accountant who are amazing in RPAs, robotic process automations. They are doing a lot of stuff on that. So what is there in this is we need to see that, okay, our regular work is getting affected and there's a digital disruption in that. Why don't we see the new skill set and new areas where we can add a lot of value because of our training and what kind of work we come from. And you can see this is like the detail of that. And you can see we are declining as per them 30% year on year. This is the 30% year on year declining. And these are emerging roles which are there. So I think we should be actually focusing as much on this kind of roles or which we can fix it up. And digital disruption is going to be there. And I'm not sure if you have seen our institute website, and I would highly recommend you, if you get a chance, and if you're going to our institute website regularly, please go to the web page of DAB, Digital Accounting and Assurance Board. And there are courses on RPA, there are courses on this, which we want to make sure our members are aware of, because more and more we know this digital disruption, how it is coming, we would be more ready to face that challenge when it comes. So these are the things which are actually impacting us, whether we like it or not. So disruptions and CAs. What are the things which are disrupting? What is the new ABCD? I'm sure you've heard this term again and again. But friends, these are the four main boxes. There are a lot of other small boxes or bins which are there in that. Let's try to understand that. Because unless and until we basically know what is the things which is going to come and affect us, it will become very tough for us to basically know that. So, these are the four boxes. I'm sure you've heard a lot about that. We have automation and AI. And when we say automation and AI, this is a very big area. And when I say very big area, the reason is this is actually impacting us whether we like it or not. So let me just try to give you one example. How many of you here have worked on, like, you would have, done something which we call our regular review of, let's say, procure to pay cycle, P2P cycle, we call it in SAP or anything. Now, I have been, into SAP audit for a long time. And there used to be time when it was a painful process. When I say painful process, so the step one we will do is first understand what is the SOP, standard operating process. Because if you know procure to pay cycle, It is not same everywhere. Like Bajaj Auto, or if you see Pune, they don't have a regular procure to pay cycle, which is like purchase order will be released, then there is going to be GRN, then there is going to be invoice, or there is going to be three-way matching, and the payment would be done. This is what we know as, what we call it as, our regular process or regular things which is there. Now, if you go and check it out, the process which is followed by Bajaj Auto, they have a concept of cost audit, which means they will actually give it to the headlight guys a kind of order in the beginning of the year and say, you supply or headlights for all the vehicles, motorcycles. Every 6 months we'll do a cost audit of yours, and end of the thing, whatever your costing is there plus 10% is your margin, and we'll pay the money to you. Now, when you are doing it, so you need to understand that process. So let me just show you one concept which has come under this, which is called as process mining. Okay, this is actually an AI and automation work. So I'm just showing you a demo right now of, okay, so this is a procure to pay process. I hope all of you know procure to pay process. So there's a purchase acquisition happened, then there's a PO which is created, then PO submitted, PO is released, goods are received, GR is goods received is accounted, invoice is entered into the system, and this invoice is accounted and money is paid. And the process, we call this as happy path. Happy path is, what does my company says? This is how my accounting should be done. So it looks very nice. But when you try to, and this is, earlier we used to do it manually. So manually means I will take a dump in Excel. Then I will try to see how many transactions there is a deviation. Today we do it using this tool. I have to just connect it to SAP, and I can actually just see that, okay, no. There were 64,411 POs created or initiated done. And many times they have directly from purchase acquisition, they have created a PO 2,927 times, which is a deviation. I go a little bit more detail. I try to see that actually the process is not going as per the happy path. That was the happy path. But what you're seeing is it is changing. It is a very different and a very dirty path right now, not a happy path. And you see there are, out of my POs, 54,000 POs issued, or 58,000, around 39,459 POs has been changed. Now, I hope too many PO changes are a good indicator or bad indicator. In a process, information processing, we call it as a bad thing. From IFC perspective also, tomorrow, Vittal sir will be talking about, he will say this is a control mismatch. Now, if I move a little more forward, you will try to see that actually it is no more the way it has to be done. You can see there were around PO were submitted, they were rejected, again they were changed. So it is not showing a good picture, but it is giving as an auditor to me on my fingertip that this is what is happening. That has to be a process, but there are a lot of time they are not doing the process. And I can actually analyze it by animating it, how many transactions worked in what way. I'm just giving an example of automation. You can see it from here. It is telling me that this transaction started from here, it went to this. It is actually on a real-time basis giving me an animation and telling me, okay, this is what actually happened. And I can go to any level and try to drill down at any point of time. And I hope pictures are worth 1,000 words. You can see the more and more I go into the detail, it becomes very messy. And this is when we show it to the client, they say, oh my God, I thought my processes are working very well, but actually their processes are not working very well. They are working very badly. You can see it yourself. It was supposed to be in a different way, and it is working in a very, very different way. So it's not following the happy path. Now, what I'm showing you right now is actually a digital disruption, which is happening from the perspective of what we call, friends, a simple idea of automation and a little bit of AI, not too much of, because artificial intelligence is a very big domain. And finance impact is not so much, but it's happening. As we talk, it is happening. What you're seeing on your screen is a basic automation. And this is a kind of thing which is working. There are also RPAs, robotic process automations, which are happening. So I'll just try to minimize this and go back to the slide which we are talking about. So we have a lot of automation happening from a concept of robotic process automation. So I'm sure all of you have heard about robotic process automation. I'll just give you a brief because see on cybersecurity and data analytics, we have like I discussed with them, and Naseema sir said I'll be talking about data analytics, so you don't have to dig deep into that. IFCs and was talked to me by Vittal sir. So I thought I'll actually focus on the first two in detail, and the other two I will just go very fast on that. So automation and AI is one area which is a disruption on the one side, but also an opportunity on the other side. A big opportunity. And I'll tell you why it is a big opportunity, because there is a big demand for domain knowledge. When I say domain knowledge, very few people actually understand the business like we do. It's very simple for a chartered accountant to say, oh, this is the process. But if you ask an engineer, they don't understand these things at all. So from that perspective, it becomes very important that we know, okay, this is what is happening, and these are the one areas we should be working on. Now, coming to the second part of automation, how I'm sure one of the area which you should actually focus on is going to be, as per me, I would say is, RPA. And when I say RPA, there are a lot of tools which are there in the market and all things. But one of the things which is very interesting is this one, UiPath, because they are giving you a free software community edition to play around with that. And this is, it looks like a robot, but there are no robot. These are like program. And if I have to say it a very crude way, how many of you here have worked on macro? If you have worked on macro, it means you are a robotic process automation expert. Okay, so it's nothing new. It's a marketing which is done. Ultimately, this is a macro. But think of that, why they are using macros. That's the most interesting thing. I actually have some of the clients and some of the big clients, they are using it for bank reconciliation statement. They are using it for tax reconciliations because the number of line items are so high. Humanly, it is not possible to do that. So it makes sense that you put a robotic, thing, which is going to match the item wise and all the thing and take that forward. So these are the things which are actually impacting us. And I would request you to play around with that. I mean, it's like all of that, you can use the community edition for free and just do it. It's like, I would say maybe the first one, you should make a robot in your office. Try it. It's not rocket science. I'm telling you, our, boys in our office and, the girls in office, they are much smarter right now. They will just do it in less than 1 hour or 2 hours. They will be expert in this. Try one of a bank reconciliation. It'll be interesting. And then you can go to your client and say, hey, we can do RPA for you. It's not a rocket science. I'm just telling you a simple thing. It's just extracting data and automating the whole process of macros, I would say, simply. But then comes a little interesting thing on artificial intelligence. This is something which I would like to talk about for next 10 minutes. And then we will actually jump into, and I would like to have more question answer in the last so that we can have it more interactive. But one of the things which I would like to tell you on AI, this is a very interesting survey you should actually do. This is the CFO survey which was done, worldwide CFO survey done by PwC. And these are the things which is very interesting came out in this survey. So I've just taken up, I have given the credit to them. It's by Mike Wazzi. He's the guy who just did the survey. See these things, they are saying in near real time or near term today, RPA is very much in demand, because what happens is RPA, everyone can just do it. You can just get your team ready on RPA in 1 day time. That is the training time we require. And more people are automating their, basic stuff like bank reconciliation, supplier reconciliations, and all this kind of things where a lot of line items are there. But slowly, blockchain and basic AI are capturing. They're basically getting up right now, as we know. Next 2 to 3 years, friends, you will see RPA will go down. It is going to be just outdated, and basic and intermediate AI is going to be used. When I say AI being used, let me give you an example in finance, something we are doing right now for that. So, one of the things which you are doing it for one of the pharma company right now is they have, employee expenses data. Unluckily for us, after the, what we COVID came, all the travel have stopped. But we have data only for now 1 year, last 1 year, which was there, 2019. And they wanted to analyze the data and tell us that, oh, what is happening? Is there something interesting thing happening? And we use a concept called, I'll explain the concept, which is called machine learning. It's a basic AI, not a big thing. What it does is you have to train that, check for anything like this. So we found one very interesting analysis in that, which is like, that one very senior guy went for a trip with two junior guys, and all the expenses was booked by the junior guy because approval can be done easily by the senior person for him. Now, this doesn't look like a exception because someone submitted and the submission was approved. But when you try to do this, was brought out not by us. We didn't tell the computer that find out something like that. We just set up the basic machine learning rule. Machine learning is basically nothing but, think of how do I teach a kid to do accountancy? Like, whenever a first guy comes in commerce, what do we tell them? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. The debit, the golden rules we teach them, that whatever comes, you use this golden rules. Imagine teaching that to the computer and saying, hey, you know what? Whenever you are having something like this, use this golden rule. And then the computer started using this golden rules in multiple situations. And that was what we call as basic AI, not advanced. Advanced is like going to be, I have to build up something like Siri and all the things. They are advanced AI. And 3 to 5 years, you will see more and more AI would be used everywhere. Blockchain will be there, but RPA is more or less going to get over. Now, this is not one person thought process. This is like 2,000 CFOs worldwide of some of the biggest companies there. And that is something which we need to understand and take that forward. Because whether we like it or not like it, this change is going to happen. And you can see it, this is happening because of this part. A digital data explosion. I'm sure today's Economics Time you have, or yesterday's also Economics Time, you've read statement by Mukesh Bhai. See, we all know Reliance was what? A refinery company and oil company. Suddenly, are you seeing the way they wanted to have a deal with Saudi Aramco company that didn't happen on the investment? But on their IT investment, they're getting money like every Tom, Dick, and Harry is just putting money out there. The whole thing is happening because there is a digital explosion of data. And, I was seeing one very interesting thing. I'm sure you watch CNBC, not our India CNBC, the US CNBC. You check out for their daily index, update, which they give in the morning. Surprisingly, they will all talk about the 5 tech companies because they have the biggest market capitalization in US. Apart from one only, which is the oil company, all others are tech companies which is having the biggest explosion of data and other powers. And that is what's happening. You see everywhere we have huge amount of data coming. And what has changed along with this data, which I wanted to show you, is a very interesting thing. This I call it as democratization of computing. I will just tell you, I'm not sure how many of you heard about an analysis called linux.org. If you get a chance, you should go to this thing. Basically, all these people are, volunteers who make free softwares. Like, you never thought of it. I will never do a free audit for anyone, but there are a lot of people who do a lot of free software. So whatever you're seeing this here on the screen are 95% of them are all open source free softwares. And I want to tell you why. You can see data mining, data analysis platform, business intelligence, all this platform which is there. I remember when I was in Infosys, we used to have one services called SAS. It's a big company. You can actually go and do it. So it was very tough. If you have to do one course of SAS, it will cost you something around 2 lakh rupees. And there was a big demand of that. But after these technologies have come, what you're seeing on the screen, they are all open source technology, and you can actually, this laptop which I'm using right now, I can use that to start a company and do all these things. And all these things are like easily doable, especially like, I don't know if you know about this one, Hadoop. Hadoop is like something which can take a huge amount of data and break it down in small pieces. So a computer like mine, I have an i7 machine, it can do the same work of a server. Or I'm not sure if you've heard about this thing called Veka. It's all open source machine learning tools. And then we have Cassandra, which is one of the very powerful database used by Facebook and everyone. And all these things are open source or freely available. And what has happened is this is allowing us to deal with large volume of data, SAP data, which we used to do. And I can tell you one thing, some of this tool you should start using at your office. And you may think, okay, no, we are a CA firm, not an IT organization, agree, but you are using Excel. So why can't you use these tools also? And I'm sure, as I have seen today only, when before I was coming for lunch and for having this session, I was in office. And one of our most junior or the latest guy who has joined us, who is actually a chartered accountant, who has joined us just 1 week back, he came out with an idea and told us, can we do it like this? And I was like shocked that, oh my God, we never got this idea. And he's a chartered accountant. He's a fresh chartered accountant who cleared in last time. And he joined us around just 1 week back. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people, if we know how to operate a mobile phone, I'm sure we can operate this. So we are actually dealing with this large volume of data, a lot of external data sources, not just, data, which is basically from, internal data like, okay, SAP data and all the thing. And this is what we are actually doing it. Yeah, so Padmanabh sir, this MindBridge is very good tool, but it is not what it is promising right now. I have done a demo of that. You just ask them for a demo. You will understand that what I'm trying to say, sir. It's a good tool, but not what it is promising right now at that level. And we are dealing with unstructured data. When I say unstructured data, think of, can we read a lot of, this is one very interesting thing. If you know, I'm just giving a use case not done by us, but I saw that use case and I was very impressed. This is done by Deloitte. So what Deloitte did is, for one of their clients, they wanted to know that how much deviation has happened from the standard operating process. So they basically used the PDFs where, it is written, this is the process and all thing, to make a flowchart automatically by the machines. I was like pretty impressed to see that they are using this kind of thing, or, kind of processes which are being worked out. Statistical modeling like regression analysis and all things. And machine learning, I already told you, this is like how we deal with them to teach them about that. So all these things are basically working it. These are bringing the digital disruption in our area. And the most interesting thing which I can actually tell you about here is, if you get a chance, if you don't get to work on anything else, please download this software. Do use it. If you're using Excel for a lot of data, please use KNIME. In fact, I have actually promised myself that I'll make around at least 1,000 chartered accountants start using KNIME, and we did a training also from Institute, which is recorded and put out there. The whole idea is, this is such a beautiful tool, and that it does programming and all the things for you without any knowledge of programming, and it can actually deal with a huge amount of data which you and me cannot even think of. Even I would say 1 or 2 years back, it is dealing with all that kind of thing. So why can't we actually use it? This disruption actually is helping us, because you Google this term KNIME and you will find that there are so much of job opportunities, and they will use a word there: data scientist, chartered accountant with knowledge of KNIME and Pentaho. You can Google it up. This is the kind of thing which is working on that. Yes, Padmanabh sir, it is being done. It was done in Delhi, Hyderabad, Mumbai. We have already done 3 courses on KNIME, and we are promoting this because this is one of the tools which can be used by a small and medium practitioner, not to be used by any big sort. And you can actually do it in a much better way, everything what you're doing. And what is the most interesting thing? At least for Excel, we have to pay license fee, Office 365 and all things. This is totally free. We don't have to even pay a single penny, unless you are taking a server edition, which you don't require. And what is the beautiful thing about this? And that is what I call the digital disruption, because I told you in the beginning of my talk, I know Python, I worked on all this tool like R, but I personally don't like doing programming. I don't know why, but I don't like it. And so whenever, the moment I came on KNIME, I'm like so excited, because it is like a drag and drop. I don't have to do anything. I have to just drag and drop, and you can see it on the screen. This is how it looks like. It initially it looks a little bit of, oh my God, what I'm doing. But actually speaking, it is having a lot of process, a lot of challenges which can be easily handled. And this is how this thing looked like. So I just wanted, that in our office, most of the guys who are working on NIME are all chartered accountant or C inter. So you can imagine this is like such a easy tool. Let me ask you one thing. Any one of you here sitting in this, training or in this session, were you trained officially on Tally when you were doing your articleship? Or all of us learned on the job? I think most of us learned on the job, right? There was no formal training. There you can see this is like a drag and drop. I have to just put it here and it will write the programming code. Just connect it from here to here, it works. So it is basically a very easy tool to play around with. I would highly recommend, we have paucity of time, so I'm not going too deep into that, but I would highly recommend you to basically learn this tool. It's actually going to be a useful tool for all of us as we do. So friends, this is something on the AI part, which is there. And some more points which we need to know is how are we using this? So what are the success stories? Where are they using it? They are using it in accounts payable for identifying fraud and revenue leakage. And I'm sure whether you know it or not, but because I'm privy to this, income tax department in Bangalore, they are actually using it, NIME and Python scripts, to go through all the data which is coming from FIU and all thing, and to get a better understanding of what the people are doing right now. Because huge amount of data is generated. GST is like an amazing thing for all the law enforcement agencies and the taxation agencies, because they're getting so much of data. So accounts payable, which corporates are using, is to identify fraud and revenue leakage. That are there fraud happening, or can we were supposed to pay this after 30 days and we paid it on the first day only. Why should we pay in first day? It is unnecessary, focusing on our working capital or bad debts. This is actually all the things what you're seeing is something which we have worked on. So I'm just confidently putting it out there. So predicting which account is going to become a bad debt based on pattern analysis. And these are being thrown by systems. And what is the most interesting thing? All of this are available online. There are a lot of people who have already made the codes and put it out there. You don't have to, do it. You have to just take that from there and put some setup, and that is all it has to require. Spend analytics is one very interesting area. I would say you should actually try to make a career in this. Just like SAP was one career, Oracle implementation was a career. There's a new career which is coming out called spend analytics. Like large companies want to know where are we spending more? Can we cut down the cost? If we can't increase the revenue, at least we can cut down the cost somewhere. So they are doing it on procurement of all these things using machine learning. General ledger code review, especially if you see SAP and Oracle, many times they'll be posting it on a wrong code. So is there a way of figuring it out that it is working fine, or there are challenges out there? Banking contract, predicting non-performing assets. I'm sure you have seen the RBI circular where they have made that NPL prediction should be automated. It is a very good opportunity. We are talking with a couple of people, and most of the time as chartered accountant, we know how much problem we get whenever we go to every audit to say, oh, this is the prediction which is there. Now they are going to make it automated. So then it will free us a lot of time when we do for a bank audit. It's actually RBI has come out with the circular, so you should read that up. Contract awarding, is there a kind of collision with the vendors? Travel and expense claim, which is a big pain area for large companies, because volume is very high and the value is very less. So they can't put someone to see that, okay, is there a way we can actually reduce the what we can call it as impact of this in terms of how we are dealing with this, what are the key things which are there, and things like that. So from that perspective, it again becomes very important. So friends, these are things which are changing our processes, our organization structures, and we need to have a good understanding of all these things to be able to take it up. So this digital disruption which we are talking about are happening as we speak, and they are all happening in a phase where you and me can see the speed it is going to be is enormous. Okay. Moving a little forward on this, I just thought I'll just put everything in one slide that AI and ML, we can actually just cover it up. These are the things which are being used for that. Pattern analysis. Is there a pattern in any kind of transactions before anything goes, bankrupt or anything as such? external data analysis, machine learning, log mining. I showed you data mining. This is nothing but log mining. When did what and thing happen? Which process was done at what point of time? Behavioral analysis. I told you this, predicting which account is going to become NPA. This is a behavioral analysis because you can figure it out just before becoming NPA. They become irregular in their payments and all the things, and there is a less transaction which happens in that account. Interactive visuals, dashboards, or what we call as graphs are now the thing, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. People who don't want boring, Excel sheet, they want something to be have interactive visuals. And dealing with unstructured data. When I say unstructured data, we are talking about ensuring that as much as possible, you bring all this data in one place and try to deal with them in a proper way. And real-time analysis are something which we work on. The next point which I would like to quickly cover is what we call it as, what kind of things analytics is answering. This is also one of the new things which is there in terms of what has happened, hindsight, insight, and foresight. These are the terms we use extensively in data analytics, which will be dealt with by Narasimhan sir. I just thought I'll just give a kind of a brief. But the question we are trying to ask is what has happened, or what is the problem was, what was the action needed out there, and how we can actually ensure that why this happened. Also, based on the insight and hindsight, can you give a foresight that, okay, in future, what is going to happen? What if the trend continues similar way? What will happen next? And what the best can happen? Based on that, businesses would like to predict, okay, this is what we are going to change it up. So friends, I just covered with you the first two parts, which are disruption happening, AI, ML, and analytics. Let me just quickly cover in next maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Then I would like to take questions from you, because I would really like to have it interactive and listen to your points also, because I'm sure you have a lot of thought process on this. Feel free to put it on the chat, which is there. I will be seeing this. So one of the thing, which is another thing I am actually very passionate about, and I'm telling everyone to go through, is the concept of blockchain. Okay, I'm just very briefly explaining this concept. This is what we call it as the triple entry system of bookkeeping, the next version. And there is a very interesting statement was done in Harvard Business Review. You should read that edition on blockchain, where they said that blockchain will do to financial services what internet did to the media. Now, you see, we are all consuming media using internet, right? Netflix, Amazon Prime, all this Z5 and all the things. Everyone is actually at my home. I was earlier DTH connection. Now I just disconnected that and put Amazon Prime. So it works fine. I can actually see all of them out there in one machine. And this is what is happening because internet became very affordable. We were able to have access to that high-speed internet, and that changed the way we look at media. Now, similarly, blockchain is going to do that to financial system. But again, I'm telling you, don't go by the hype. There is something we call it hype cycle. Don't go by the hype. There is a lot of hype about this also. This is called the hype cycle. Don't go by the hype. In the hype cycle, they always says that, okay, there are 5 stages of any technology. There's a just example. So they will say every technology will start with innovation trigger. You can see this one. So this is a new thing which has come. Then there is a peak of inflated expectation. People will say, okay, everything will be solved by this technology. Then there is something called as thorough disillusionment, which means that people will, no, it is not going to work. What you are telling is all useless. Then there is slope of enlightenment, which means that, okay, people know it will work for something, but not everything. And finally, maturity comes. Now, all these 5 stages are there. So see, you need to understand, though there is a lot of talks on blockchain, and I'm sure you've read in newspaper and all things, some analysts telling that, oh, after blockchain come, auditors are not required. That is all bullshit. Will be required, but a lot of our work, which we do, which I call it as the low value add work, will go away. Like the most important one, reconciliations. I am sure many of you have worked in retail industries. In retail, the amount of reconciliations are very high. And that is one area which is going to go up. So as per Gartner, which is a kind of a body, it is on the hype cycle right now. It is going to go through this downturn and it will take some time to do it. But overall, what is happening is everyone is saying one very interesting statement goes in blockchain They said, and actually I'm telling you, you should be proud of one thing, especially Trivandrum. Do you know there is something called as Kerala Blockchain Academy at Triple ITK? They have a lot of courses. I myself did a course from them. We had actually had a tie-up with them because Kerala Blockchain Academy is one of the top institution in India in terms of blockchain adoption, and they are doing something amazing. We have taken a couple of their products and we are taking it to our clients, and people are amazed that, oh my God, this is something why we didn't thought of earlier. So there are a lot of things which are happening, and they are all on finance, especially on reconciliation, on having a single source of truth, and areas like that. So I will not go into the deep dive of what is blockchain and all the thing, but I can just tell you this blockchain is not Bitcoin. That is something which I always tell in my thing. And you can see that Bitcoin came in 2008. This is the timeline which many of people know. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Okay, we are not talking cryptocurrency. We don't even promote cryptocurrency. Our institute doesn't do that. What we are saying is in Bitcoin, to keep a track of the cryptocurrency, they use a ledger. And as chartered accountant, we are the custodian of ledgers. We have been like playing with ledgers from the time we are born. As chartered accountant, when first articleship we start, our first year, we will be playing with ledgers. Now, this is a kind of new age ledger, which is actually solving a problem of many things. Particularly one problem, I'll explain it to you very quickly. Double entry system of bookkeeping has a big problem. When we are writing the examination in CA, we'll write one entry like this. In the books of X, this is the entry. In the books of Y, this is the entry. Because the same person is writing this entry, it becomes very easy, right? Because we say, okay, same person is writing this entry, no problem, it is all good. But in real life, there are going to be different people passing these entries. And when different people pass these entries, what happens is many a time they will not do a good job, or they'll pass their entry. And that leads to what? Reconciliation. My first job was Aditya Birla Group, and I was posted at Madura Garments, which is like, the company which make Louis Philippe, Van Heusen, and all these brands. And I remember, I'm talking about 2003, that time, with Shoppers Stop, one of the, you all know Shoppers Stop. Our unreconciled balance in 2003 was 80 crores. Can you imagine unreconciled balance of 80 crores in your books, which is there? And it was taken as a challenge that we need to reconcile as much as possible. And this is a problem everywhere, whether we like it or not. And this is the whole reason, because there is no single source of truth. So what they are trying to do in blockchain is, can we have a single source of truth? Can we have one entry done in a blockchain? So triple entry system means you pass one entry in your book, I pass one entry in my book, and then we together pass an entry in our blockchain books. And that becomes what we call it as one single source of truth. And that came from, you can see this, October 2008, there was an interest on Bitcoin. There was a paper published. The first Bitcoin was purchased in 2010. And then the first interest in blockchain started from 2014. So it's a very new technology. When people started studying Bitcoin, they said, I don't like Bitcoin, but this blockchain is amazing. This is a ledger where you can keep a track of every transaction which has happened for that Bitcoin. And that is a new way of looking at it. And today there is a joke which goes that blockchain is a solution looking for problem. For everything they are putting it up. I was in California for a TaiCon last year, and for the Thai, conference which happened. And they were putting blockchain for everything, from finding out fake medicines to tracking down agriculture product to trying down everything. So this is a kind of a record maintenance which makes it much easier. So, this is something which you should be actually studying about, because this is going to be a game changer, whether we like it or not. This is going to change it up. And you can see that as per WEC, they say 80% of the banks are already working on blockchain. And I'm sure you've heard about Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Already they have actually gone for a public blockchain, which they are, they have announced it also. So organizations are doing it, whether we like it or not. SDFC is doing it. Everyone is doing it right now, because future lies there. Even Infosys, if you have, you're auditing, you're doing a core banking audit on any of the Finacle application, I would highly recommend you that as an auditor, check for interbank reconciliation module. That interbank reconciliation module is already on blockchain. So they have already put it out there. So all these things are changing the way we look at our businesses. So these are all digital transformation in different field, and there are a lot of real life use cases which are happening. I'll just quickly cover this one, and because I would like to have last 20 minutes for discussion, uh, feel free. This is some of the things which is being used, blockchain real world cases everywhere, and these are I think many times CAs ask me what is there for us. There are two things which are there for us. First, do you know there is a big demand for, I'm sure all of you have heard about SA 402, Standard of Auditing 402. Check out SA 402 and see that in blockchain, there is going to be requirement of consortium auditors. And it has already started. The big fours have started doing it. They do audit of this. And this is a big demand right now. And there are people who are actually reviewing this one. And I met one lady in Chicago recently. And do you know what they're auditing right now? Very amazingly, they are auditing algorithms. Algorithms are nothing what is used in, what we call it as making any kind of machine learning and all the thing. And they are auditing that algorithm because they said sometimes the algorithm are biased. Biased means because humans are making these algorithms, they can be biased in terms of, think of this, in California, they made one program which says that it will deploy the police car in different locality. So depending on, we have 300 police cars, which area it should go and stand, it was worked by the computer. But later it was find out that more and more cars are going in black locality than white locality. So it was a bias, racial bias, which was there, that black locality will have more issues compared to white locality. So there are nowadays consortium to audit all those things. This is a new opportunity. You should be like, we should be proud of. And there are really good paymasters in terms of doing audit of consortium blockchain and all the things. So these are all the areas which are working with. Just to summarize what I actually do, I'll just try to take it up because I was the first speaker, so it's my responsibility. I just gave a, set the context for the next two speaker in terms of telling you the digital disruption and chartered accountant are indispensable, whether we like it or not. From the MCA 21 days, we have been part of digital disruption. I hope you remember, I'm sure a lot of senior members would be here. First time when we heard about MCA 21 and we heard about digital signature, the first thing came to everyone's mind. Now they will say, no, it was not there. But everyone thought it is like you sign on a paper and scan it. That is digital signature. Later we came to know, okay, no, there are dongles, there are digital signature, public key infrastructure and all things. So from those days, we have come a long way. We are using digital signature day in, day out. Now here also, this is an opportunity, friends. Amazing opportunity for all of us as we see. These things are going to come and hit us more faster than what we can think. Have you seen this on the mirror? They say objects appearing on the mirror may be closer than what they appear to be. So these are much closer whether we like it or not. Now is the time to what we call as pivot. Heard about this term called pivot? Pivot tables, we make all the thing. Pivoting is a term when we basically take what we are doing right now, change it in a way that we can add value to that. So bring the digital in our work, bring the digital process in terms of how we can do that. It can be like, I was telling of my friend who is into GST practice. He does 60% of his works using RPM. What I showed you, Automation Anywhere and UiPath, he is using that because he's doing it for one of the automobile companies. The number of line items are very high and he's using it. I'm just not telling that we have to live away that. Bring the digital part in that. Try it. Initially, it will be not very easy. I'm telling you, when I started, I used to give a lot of gyan on data analytics and all things. And when I did my first data analytics project, it was a big problem. Problem means what we see and what we do. These are two different animals altogether. Okay, saying is very easy, but when we implement it, we understand what are the challenges which are there, how we can overcome those challenges. That is becomes important. Okay, I have to share my screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, let me share my screen. Friends, that which we have to be aware of, understand it, and take that forward. And that would help us as we move forward in our regular domain, work it out, and ensure that this is going to be a good area. Okay, so that's all from my side. I'll more than happy to take any questions, any query you may have, or any feedback you may have. Feel free to put it on the chat, or you can reach out to me if you have any questions on that. Okay. So I had two questions here, which was given to me privately. One is by Rema Sharma ma'am, which is, can you share the report? I'll just share it up, ma'am, immediately after this. Maybe with the presentation, I'll share it with the the quad core team, the quad team actually, in terms of doing it. Second question I had got is, any idea on MindBridge AI tool? I told you, Padman sir, already. So basically what is happening is MindBridge is one company, you can try it out, AI tool, which is very interesting. Canada-based company, and they are actually doing something very interesting. They said that you just come to us with the data, audit will be done by us. And that's interesting because they have some very amazing algorithms which are doing the audit, and they use Benford and other kind of algorithms, and they give very interesting analysis out there. So that's something which we can all, do it, and we can actually take care of that. Okay, so there is one more question that NIME I have downloaded, like you said, it looks Greek and Latin. So I'll tell you very easy way. There is one very interesting book which is freely available on the internet called NIME for Beginners. That is for, see, first time when we saw Excel, it was also looking a little odd, right? But what is the boxes are there and all thing. But I'm sure you can actually go through that. It's very simple. And on the NIME.org also, there is a free training which is there on how to use NIME. But only thing you require is you should actually develop your own areas. Like if you're doing bank reconciliation and all things, you can actually start using it, Emma. It's amazing. And if you have any issue, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you. Okay. I really want more and more people to use it. Thank you, Natarajan sir. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I hope it was helpful. I just wanted to give it 30,000 feet. I know that I didn't go too deep into each of the technologies. I'm sure there are better speaker than me who will be coming tomorrow, and day after tomorrow they'll be taking it up. But what I would like you guys to do it, think of this in our office. Just think of that. Sir Jomon sir said one very interesting thing. How many of you we are using cloud backup? Do we have automatic attendance? And what is the most interesting thing? These tools are a lot of free. Or how are we doing our filing system in our office? How are we basically doing? I'm just giving a simple example. I was very impressed. How do we do stock audit? We do a lot of stock audits and all thing, and we still send our boys there. They will be going there. Why can't we just make? I don't know if you know Zoho. You can go to the site of Zoho and make a free tool. We just did it for one of my friend. They did some 300 units were to be done. And the report was done immediately, because what used to happen is they used to send their boys with the mobile app, because everyone has a mobile, take the pictures then and there, fill up the detail, and the back end, the report format is ready. So that is like a real digital thing. I'm not telling you that you should go into all the things. We have digital in every part of that. We need to just think of where we can use it up. If we keep our eyes and mind open, I'm sure you will come across hundreds of use cases like that. Okay, I would suggest NIME you should start learning, because next time bank audit you should use NIME. There is a ready-made NIME library for bank audit. Okay, ready-made. You can just connect it to take all the data from there, load into NIME. It'll give you all the things. There are so much of stuff is there which is to be there to explore. We should. I know there is a kind of a saying. I don't know how many of you have Netflix connection. They say that if you have Netflix connection, if you try to watch everything on Netflix, it will take us some 300 plus years continuously if you're watching. So content is more. You have to choose it between that and take that forward. Okay. So thank you for this opportunity, for sharing whatever little I had knowledge of. Thank you, Chairman Sir, for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you to all the other chairmen from all the LFP, Kottayam and Kollam branch.
Finally, I invite Prem Sebastian Anthony, the Secretary of Kottayam branch, to express the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to CA Anand Jangid sir, respected Chairman of Trivandrum branch, respected officials of Kollam, Alappuzha branches, my dear fellow members of all these branches. It was a very highly technical and detailed session handled by CA Anand Jangid sir, and he has taken us through the latest technologies and the need to change ourselves in this technical era. And we are, in fact, forced to change, especially in the COVID pandemic era now. Till now, we were having physical CPE sessions and all. Now, every branch has changed to the virtual mode of conducting seminars. Now, every office, every chartered accountant office have gone to highly technical issues like work from home and technology-based support services, support systems, and all. And the chairman of Trivandrum branch has taken the message at the right time and have moved to conduct a joint seminar with all the other 3 branches of ICII, and he is in the happy path, I think. He has taken our first session in the 3-day series has done pretty well, and it was handled by an excellent faculty, C. Anand Jangid sir. He has taken us through digital disruption and the technology requirements of our offices. On behalf of all the 4 branches, I thank C.A. Jangid sir for the excellent presentation. Thank you very much, sir. I thank our dear chairman of Trivandrum branch, Anil sir, for organizing this event. It's Anil sir's idea to conduct a joint conference like this, joint seminar like this. And I thank, I especially thank Anil sir for the organization of this event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We are going.
Thank Joman sir for the inaugural address. Joman sir has given us a highly, a high-tech speech coupled with IPL and everything. And Joman sir has given us a very good introduction to our sessions. I thank Joman sir in his absence. I thank Babu Ibrahim Kalivel sir for supporting us for conducting this event. I think with the support of Babu sir and Joman sir, we can even think of future sessions like this again. Okay, I thank all the officials of all the 4 branches for supporting us. I thank everyone. I thank all the participants for making this event a success. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will be conducting more programs, and we are trying to coordinate all the 9 branches of Kerala also. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, Anand sir, for this good
Thank
session.
you so much, Anand sir. It was a really wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And my senior partner Subramanya Sharma mentioned to me that he was the one who brought you here for the first time in Trivandrum branch.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are right.
He had a meeting, so he could not attend. So he just said that I should pass on the message.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.